I am Senator Dickson, Senator representing Bayelsa West. And Mr. President, I rise this afternoon to move this motion on the need to retain the name Harold Dappa Biriye, a departed elder statesman and nationalist, in the new headquarters of the NDDC. Mr. President and my dear colleagues, this Senate notes that the late elder statesman and nationalist Harold Dappa Biriye, of blessed memory, coordinated the activities of the Rivers Conference of Chiefs and Peoples and participated actively in all the pre-independence conferences in Nigeria and abroad, particularly with respect to the Niger Delta issues, the 1957-58 Constitutional Conference, which led to the appointment of the Henry Willings Commission of Inquiry and the report that followed. This Senate also notes that he later formed and led the Niger Delta Congress, NDC, a political party of the Niger Delta people, on whose platform another eminent statesman, nationalist, elder statesman, now late, His Excellency Senator Melford Okilo, former governor, former minister, former senator, was elected on that platform to serve on the first parliament of our country, and he became parliamentary secretary as a result of the alliance between the NDC and the NPC. This Senate also observes that his party, the NDC, was in alliance with the NPC and collaborated with his contemporaries, his friends and allies, like the first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa, Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the Sardauna Ahmadu Bello, blessed memory, and his colleagues in the pre-independence struggles. The Senate notes that the late Harold Dappa Biriye, all through his adult life, until his death at a ripe old age, fought for the people of Nigeria, all Nigerians, and was a quintessential Nigerian who lived a good life promoting national unity, understanding, bridge building, and cohesion. The Senate is aware that the late Dappa Biriye collaborated with other leaders of Nigeria and all those who became heads of state during the military, General Yakubu Gowon, in order in managing the issues and agitations of the Niger Delta leading to the creation of River State, and also led the negotiations that led to the release and pardon of the late Isaac Atakaboro, who was made to join the Nigerian military and died fighting to keep Nigeria one. The Senate notes that he served also as an advisor in the cabinet of the new government when he led and negotiated with his friends and allies to create River State. He served in the government, the new government of then JTSPIF, to stabilize the region and the state. Subsequently, he also kept collaborating, not only with the head of state, General Gowon, but also all his successors, General Murtala Mohammed, and formed close relationship with all of them until the return of our country to democracy, 1998-1999. The Senate notes that until his death, Harold Dappa Biriye was the founding chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Ijaw National Congress, the apex pan-Ijaw cultural body, which I had the honor and privilege of serving as the national legal advisor. It was after his death that Pa Clark, who was his deputy, took over and still remains as the chairman of the Board of Trustees. The Senate is aware that through the Henry Willings Commission, which he fought for and pushed, the Commission recommended the establishment of the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority and declared the Niger Delta region as a special development region. And that led to the formation of the first Basin Development Authority, and then subsequently that model was replicated across the country. This Senate notes that he also offered advice to President Olusegun Obasanjo upon the return of our country to democratic rule, and led several elders to provide solutions on the way forward. And that was why the President Obasanjo and his colleagues in government at that time, with the active support of the National Assembly, for which we are grateful, created the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC. This Senate notes that following the establishment of the NDDC, the federal government of Nigeria, the management of the newly established NDDC, with the active support of the government of Rivers State, led at the time by His Excellency Sir Dr. Peter Odili, who himself was one of the several political proteges of the late Harold Dappa Biriye, decided to name the NDDC temporary headquarters building donated by the government of Rivers State, an act that we all in the region appreciate. They named that building after Harold Dappa Biriye. The building, the NDDC Permanent Temporary Secretariat, up until recently, was known as the Harold Dappa Biriye House. That was an honor bestowed on him, which he appreciated before his demise. I knew because I was one of his young advisors, legal advisors and secretaries towards the end of his life. This Senate observes that the NDDC, after 20 years of existence, has now commissioned, last year, commissioned its permanent headquarters, but observes with dismay that while the NDDC commissioned and has moved its personnel and activities into its permanent headquarters, which is commendable, it has somehow refused, neglected, or failed to transfer the name Harold Dappa Biriye earlier approved that adorned the temporary secretariat, temporary headquarters. That should have been done even before the commissioning. That should have been done even before the commission. By not doing that, unless this Senate intervenes, it's as if the honor that was bestowed on one of our founding fathers and leaders has been jettisoned just because the man is dead, and we shouldn't let that happen. This Senate also observes that, well, unlike some of his colleagues and contemporaries who fought and worked for our country's independence and laying its foundation, whose names and images adorn our national currency and also strategic national assets, Harold Dappa Biriye has none in his name other than this. When I was governor, because I was honored and privileged to be mentored by him on how you can, in a multinational country, raise issues, fight for unity, but work for the good of all, including ourselves. He taught us that. I built and named the International Conference Center, which bears his name in Bayelsa. So, accordingly, Mr. President and my dear colleagues, I most respectfully and passionately urge that this Senate should resolve to direct the Secretary to Government of the Federation and the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs to direct and ensure the retention, because the honor had already been done and approved, retention of the name Harold Dappa Biriye House to be affixed in the NDDC permanent headquarters now, without further delay. Mr. President and my dear distinguished colleagues, I so move. And thank you for the audience.